Well, folks, ready to get back on here, and let's talk about these the blue. I always find it interesting that statistically, police, have the highest rate of suicide, and substance abuse, and domestic violence, and stuff like that. And they're running around with guns and making bad decisions. Not all of them. Like I said, there's some good ones out there, just like in everything. But it seems funny to me that they act like that. And the only thing I can come up with is they know what they're doing is wrong. They know. And there's a conflict in their soul. Or they have a demon. Let's say it's just a demon. And of course, there's conflict. They know right from wrong. So they can't help themselves. And they're tormented. These people are tormented. This is why they go out and do the stupid things they do. I mean, they're supposed to do this and supposed to be in control, and the problem is they can't control themselves. They can't control their mouth. They can't control their actions. They can't control their anger. They can't control anything. They're out of control. And you're supposed to abide by someone that is out of control. Basically, what I'm saying is these people they're psychotic and probably borderline insane, if not insane. And you're supposed to sit here and listen to their rhetoric and their bullshit. Is there something wrong with that? Am I missing something? People like that you don't put in charge of anything. You want to keep them under control. You want to keep them. That's what they do in prisons. You see where I'm going with that? These people are everything that they're fighting against. They are the epitome of evil. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the good ones that stand there and just watch this going on, well, they're not very good, are they? They're cowardly. They're the ones that should be going, hey, knock your crap off. Go back to your squad car, sit down. Take a break here. We'll handle this, okay? I mean, that's the type of stuff they need to do. They need to step up to the plate. And if the cop gets lippy with them, you look at him and say, listen, buddy, we've been nice to you. If you like, we'll throw the cuffs on you and we'll arrest you and haul you off to jail. And we'll charge you. And really, that's what really should happen to a lot of them. Because they do. They break the law constantly. I mean, you are the enemy. Even though you're their boss. Oh, you're my boss. I always like it, Judges, my courtroom. Sheriffs, my deputies. See, my police officer, my. It's like, Well, really, I didn't know they were yours. That's funny. We entrusted you with a specific duty, and you betray our our civic our trust. How can you trust someone like that? You can't. You can't listen to them. You can't. Basically, you can't even abide by what they say because they lie all the time and they don't make good decisions. Their judgment is bad. Like I said, you get one car going 150 miles down the interstate. That's bad enough. Get two, well, you just double the chance of somebody getting, and then you get five or six more, and they're all converging in on a car that it's like, man, you got his plate number. Like I said before, let him go. He'll slow down. He'll calm down. First, the only thing he's going to try to do is get the hell off the road, get the car hid, whatever, and he thinks he got away. Like I said, a couple, 2, 3 days later, you show up at his work or his house or something and arrest him. You know, it's not rocket science. But my God, we're gonna. You know. You know, the worst things you could ever watch was when they had that. I forgot what it was called, but it was a police show. Like I don't even remember what the hell the name of it was. It was a series. It was, I don't know, back in the 90s maybe. You know, and the cops who rode around with the cops, and we're going to Scottsdale, Arizona, or we're going to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're gonna ride along, and then the cops, because they're on camera, boy, they got we're gonna show the world, and then it really got bad from there on out, and then judges are as bad because they have to back them, they have to go, oh, well, the law, you can't do that. It's the law. It's like, well, what about all the laws they broke? Oh, don't mention that. They had to do it. So the ends justify the means, right? Okay, I got it. So if I take a ball bat, smash the guy in the fucking head, and he goes into a coma, and comes out of the coma, and maybe he's normal now. So the ends justify the means. Is that okay? You can't have that many different tiers in society. I mean, God created all men equal. After that, well, you grow up, and some advance and get smarter, and some do stupid and do dumb things, and then society it just runs amok. That's why God's got laws, not man's laws, God's laws. Years ago, I mean, we're talking back in probably, I don't know, medieval times, such and that. It was okay. Well, no, it wasn't okay. It was the rule that if you're going to get married, I guess they had to, the king or whatever, the prince or whatever, had to sleep with the woman before she got married. That was the way it was. That was okay. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know. I mean, I can't say it doesn't happen or didn't happen. I didn't write the history, somebody else wrote it. So whether it's true or not, who knows? But I find it interesting. What was that? What if that was going on today? That'd be okay, right? It's all right. Yeah, sure, because that's the law. Yeah. Pretty sick people. Sick. And that's what's wrong with a lot of that's what's wrong with society in general. Then they, oh, you can't spank your child, you can't do that, oh, that's abuse and blah blah blah. Well, God says what? Spare the rod, spoil the child. Then you have a whole bunch of these kids running around that just they're entitled. I'm entitled. I didn't do anything, but I'm entitled. People have to work a lifetime to get to where they're at, but they're entitled. Their parents worked a lifetime to get where they're at, but they're entitled. The government is not in the morality business. That's not what the government does. Never has, never was. And the government seems to think that they have to protect you from yourself. No, they don't. It's not their place. If you're kind of an idiot and you do stupid shit and you end up getting yourself hurt or killed, well, at least that DNA maybe stopped right there. So now when somebody's doing something that can hurt someone else, well, sure, yeah. But it's okay to fly 150 miles an hour down the interstate, even though they themselves can hurt someone. It's okay to fire your weapon into crowds and busy intersections inside malls and a whole bunch of other places when they're hell schools too where there's children. How many do you think those children actually got shot by a cop and not the actual shooter? Do you think the coroner's going to come out and tell the truth on that one? Oh no. No, they're going to lie. Everybody's going to lie like a son of a bitch. I mean, think about that. There'd be a lot of people that would be like, oh, I back the blue. Well, let's see. Out of the 12 children that got shot, 11 of them got shot by the police. What? Well, that's not right. Yeah, that's right. It's not right, is it? You see, they lie. You can't trust anything they say. They're not. They're not. They're morally corrupt. Unbelievable, isn't it? And you're paying for this in more ways than one. Society's paying for it because you got a bunch of corrupt people running around, and you're paying for it out of your pocket with money and a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, if you just happen to be out driving late at night, 1, 2 in the morning, then they're going to get right on you. They're going to pull up. They're going to run your plate. They're going to do a whole bunch of shit. They'll probably pull you over. They'll make up some reason to pull you over because they assume because you're out that late, you're drunk. You've been drinking. You're doing shit you shouldn't be doing. Well, that too, say they're breaking the law. Say if you want to see someone, an organization, and I mean I'm talking about not just society, but you're talking about an organization throughout the country that is lawless because they're breaking the law all the time. They're breaking the Constitution, every step of it, all the way. That's law enforcement. It's a contradiction, say. It's like most of the time, whenever they say anything, it's the opposite of what it is. They're enforcing the law and they're lawless, say. That's why I don't even know why you even listen to them. Oh, but they give a lawful orders. Well, what would happen if, judges, oh, I give a lawful order. Yeah, well, why are we listening to you? I'm a firm believer usually everything works out. If you got somebody that's running around breaking into places, stealing stuff, sooner or later you're going to get caught. And a lot of people, they'd rather, yell at them or something, they run off. What would happen if you didn't yell at them and you shot them and you killed them? Well, they wouldn't be stealing stuff anymore. We wouldn't have to have jails and prisons. We wouldn't need the judges. Right? You see where I'm going? You're the rightful heirs of this. Those people are not. They're demons. They're the opposite. They're the opposite of God. Oh, you don't know me. No, I know you all very well. I know you by your actions. Of course, I could do that. The law said, doesn't matter what the law says. You're lawless. Talks about the lawless one in the Bible. You're a demon. You know where you're going. That's why you have the conflict in your soul. Don't listen to a word I say. Because heaven is too good for you. I shouldn't say that, should I? There's a lot of things in society that society says, oh, don't take it personal. Well, the guy that got his head slammed into the curb because he was riding his bicycle without any lights on it at night because, they just decided they wanted to do that. Don't take it personal. They were just doing their job. The Alzheimer's patients and stuff, that get all beat up and stuff. Well, don't take it personal. They're just doing their job. The autistic kid that got pulled out of his house and then thrown on the ground. Don't take it personal. They're just doing their job. I remember there's an autistic girl she used to go up to one of those convenience stores where it gets slushy or something. I don't remember exactly how what happened. 3 cops, and she ended up. Well, she didn't go home. She went to the morgue because they shot her. Like 18-year-old autistic girl. What about the cop? Oh, she had a knife, so he shot her right in front of her family. I personally know people that has literally happened to. They're out of control. They're evil and they're demons. You go ahead and back the blue all you like because you're naive. They're naive. You gotta look at things realistically, and realistically, they're corrupt and evil. Like I said, there's some good ones out there, but the good ones have to step forward. The good ones have to take the matters back into their own hands and correct this. That's just like you writing criminal complaints and filing bar grievances and judicial complaints and stuff. You're taking the system back. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen if you get involved, you get into the arena. It will happen. I mean, I honestly believe that's one of the biggest fights we have out there. It's called law enforcement. Because it's not just that, but you got cities with code enforcement. And who runs those? Oh, guys with little badges again. You see where it's all the same. I don't know if it's true or not, but oh god, I can't remember her name. She's a black. She thinks she's in the house. Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, I think. Anyways, old Jasmine there. Since 2004, their family has been cashing their fathers, dead fathers, Social Security checks. 2004. And that's none of your business. That's a family matter. That's what she said. Supposedly has said. Now, I don't know if you can believe it or not. I mean, it sounds pretty far-fetched to me. I mean, we're talking about somebody in Congress. My God. You know, if they really are doing that, what the hell is she doing in Congress? I mean, you know, it's like the people that went after Trump, man. They're falling on their own swords. Do you see a problem? You, as a juror, when you walk in, you need to take in consideration what all evidence did we not hear. Something is in my gut. There's something not right here. And then you got to look at, too, the law. Did they follow the law? If they didn't follow the law, that guy should go free. You can't break the law to convict someone. I mean, that's called entrapment. Well, in some cases. In other cases, they just break the law just so they can get you, and that's okay, because that's just lawlessness. And it's not okay. So you got to remember, if you get on a jury, you got to be careful and weigh things carefully. Don't take it light. And there's a lot of people that they don't even want to get in that. They want to get out of being on jury duty. Me, they don't let me in. They won't let me in because I can't wear my hat. Oh, you gotta take your hat off. I said, well, if that's the case, you have a good day. And I walk away. Well, you can't. Well, I said, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Come get me? I was here. You told me I couldn't come in because I was wearing a hat. You told me to leave, so I'm leaving. Which is it? Do I go in there with my hat? Or do I leave because you told me to? I was here. And I make sure I go down and I sign their stupid little book down there somewhere. So look, I was there. Matter of fact, go back and look at the damn cameras and the film footage and everything. You'll see me. I was there. It was your bailiff, your clerk, your sheriff, whoever told me you're not welcome here. Whatever. But I pretty much, you get what I'm saying here with this stuff, okay? They're lawless. And people don't like it when you don't back the blue. Well, you're mindless. It's like thanking a soldier. I've told the story many times. Now, when they started doing that stuff, my grandfather was a chief petty officer in World War II. Not going to go into all the crap he did and see, blah, 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 him and his buddy. But when that started, they just like when it started, they saw it on TV, and it was like they both looked at each other, and they just kind of put their heads down and just shook their heads, you know. It's like, and it wasn't probably about a half hour or 45 minutes later they actually said so. They actually spoke. And that was an insult to them. They were mad. They were pissed because you're thanking us for doing our duty. You're thanking us for going killing people. You're thanking us. I mean, the list of stuff went on and on. And the biggest thing was this. It was like, thanks for reminding me of the horrible things I did and the horrible things I saw that I've been trying to forget for a lifetime. Thanks for reminding me about all that. So this thanking people for killing people and all that stuff. I mean, if you didn't get involved in it, oh, well, cool, great. Thank them for feeding the troops. Thank them for making the water for the troops. Thank them for supplying the troops. I mean, oh, great. But a lot of guys that were actually out there and saw the combat stuff, like my grandpa and them, you're thanking us for killing people. Doing the most horrible things in the world you could possibly do to anyone, and you're thanking us for it. And then I'm trying to forget all this. I've been trying to forget it for a lifetime, and now you gotta bring it. You gotta thank me, so you just bring it all up. Think about it, folks. They got you chasing your tail, divide and conquer, all kinds of crap. They're bombarding you from one end to the other end of the spectrum. All right? Remember that. That's what these people are. They're evil. They're deceivers. They're liars. They're lawless. God tells you that in the Bible. There's one truth. That's God. One truth. There's one law. I mean, not one law, but there's one set of laws. Moral laws. God's law. Not two, not three. And all men are created equal. And they'll all be judged the same way. Doesn't care if you're a king or a peasant. God doesn't care. He will judge you all the same. You're not going to get a pass because you were a king. You're not going to get a pass because you're a peasant. Matter of fact, you might even judge that king harder because he had the power to do the right thing, but he didn't. He didn't choose it. So, there's a lot to be said. So I'll drop it there.